going to MABA since I was born. My dad took me there when I was 2 months old. And at first it was more of a my dad thing. He used to go every weekend. And so we would follow along. My brother was born 2 years after me, so it became a tradition to go every weekend. So that was until I was probably 8 or 9. And then what happened was I started playing table tennis. I was a professional table tennis player. And what's funny is we were raised to be very, faithful. We try to, Buddhism is a important part of our family structure. Mm-hmm. So when we were playing, my parents would always tell me to, just focus on your breathing, all that stuff. And then we would actually go to MABA before every tournament that we would go to. So one of the main tournaments I went to when I was 13 was the U.S. Nationals, where I made the U.S. team. But before that, I went to MABA, I pray, do all that stuff. And it worked. I made the U.S. team, and it really helped. So for me, it was I felt like it was a necessity for me to go, because first it helped me prove myself, but also it made me feel like if I wanted to do well, I would go to MABA. But yeah, so since then I've been going there recently, not as much due to work, but try to go there whenever I have time. Yeah, so during those weekends when I was little, all the way until I was probably 13, 14, before I started playing, we practice meditation because it's a great way to, because we're always told to concentrate on our breathing, being able to focus. So in important situations, it's always a very helpful technique to be able to focus, to be able to be in that moment, So yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think I could probably say in college, I was only one of 2 friends that believe Buddhism, and follow Buddhism. And to be honest, I always see Buddhism as a very peaceful religion, where a lot of the things I focus on what I could do to improve myself. Mm-hmm. My friends didn't really, I was raised up in, in in a city where there's not a lot of Buddhism in this, Mm-hmm. So it's been, it's been perfectly fine. There's, everyone respects each other's beliefs and all that stuff. And I'm when they ask me what my religion is, I say Buddhism, and there's been no backlash or no negative perception of it. Yeah, to be honest, I've actually never really had people ask me. What I would say is it's more about, I see it as just being a good person, not I'm not I haven't been deep into the books, understanding, but what I do know is just I've been taught that you do good, you do good, you don't do bad, and I don't know, more contribute to the community. I think those 3 things are mainly what I try to focus on. Mm-hmm. So I haven't been able to really provide any details on that, just because my friends never really asked me. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, my parents are very avid, strong believers, and a lot of the times it's more of just us participating, doing community service, trying to help out MABA whenever they need anything. And what that does is it not only provides us or helps us with following Buddhism, but it also just makes us feel better for doing community service in general. And we often associate Buddhism with the community service that we do, so that allows us to affirm our beliefs. Oh, a lot. MABA's changed a lot. I remember since when I was 4 or 5, when I was there, it used to be a small cabin. It's a small cabin, and there was a side cabin on there. But since then, there's been so many buildings, so many areas that it's been built. It's been truly amazing to see. I remember when we used to go there, it's just 5-minute walk from one cabin to the other cabin. There wasn't a lot of to walking around, but now it's you go everywhere, and you could. It is amazing. I truly enjoy going and walk. You can even sightseeing, just seeing all the amazing structures It has. There's been a very constant stream of new people what I would say is from when I was younger to now, there's definitely been a change of people. Obviously, some of the old people, like older followers, are still there, but there's been newer, more, I would say actually more Americans, which is very interesting.
Non-Asians.
Yeah, non-Asians, exactly. I think it's because MABA does a great job kind of not just trying to make Buddhism a Chinese or an Asian thing, but it's a very welcoming thing, you know, where it gives people opportunities to come, meditate, be able to listen to teachings, and kind of self-reflect. And it's a very common place to go to. So. Well, I want to say I've respected him since I was little, obviously. My parents have always very respected him to very high regards. And I mean, my brother and I do the same. I think it's just very seeing him accomplish so much and being able to build all these things, you know, raise funds. I mean, that's something that even as a business person, it's very difficult to do. So it's, I mean, I hold him to the same regard as I'd say when I was little. You know, there hasn't really been much change. I mean, I understand what he says better. When I was little, it was more just like, oh, you know, Master Jiru's like, I try to listen, but half the time, like, I don't understand what's going on. And now it's just a better understanding. You know, same respect. I have probably more respect now that I know what he's going, what I see, what he's going through, what he's been able to do. I mean, for me to explain to someone like that, I wouldn't talk about Buddha in general. You know, it's for me, even Buddhism is more of just like being able to be a good person. Like I was saying earlier, it's more of like reflecting on yourself, being able to, like, I understand everyone has different beliefs and it's hard to explain different beliefs to each other because everyone's just raised in different types of families. But being able to understand, I think the important word is understanding. It's okay for everybody to have beliefs, but being able to understand other people's perspectives and being able to see, like, you don't do unto other people what you want people to do unto yourself, you know? I think that's probably just, I would try to maybe not even just MABA, but just, you know, just being able to have good understanding. Nice. I mean, it's interesting because as I'm starting to make money now, you know, I'm starting to understand community service, and one way to do that is through charity, or like to give back, give money to MABA, being able to provide, because I see how MABA was able to provide me even through my table tennis days. You know, I think of it as directly correlated. Me going to MABA resulted in me winning multiple national championships, you know, Olympic trials. So from one aspect is just giving back, providing money, but also trying to encourage, I'd say, at these events. So my dad has his band practice, and having them go perform, I think it's a wonderful opportunity to give back. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.